This is the biggest news of the century. I'm talking bigger than what's happening at the moment, the riots in England, Donald Trump, attempted assassination. Even if the government came out and said UFOs and aliens are real, this discovery would be bigger than that. So the best way is just to show you what I mean. Now bear with me as I show you this. For the first time in history, you're about to see the Shroud Man from the Shroud of Turin move so realistically that in some parts you won't know that it's AI that's doing it. Then I'm going to show you that it's already been proven to be the real Jesus of Nazareth.
Keep watching. I'll explain later. But this is the face of Jesus.
You have heard that it was said, "You shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy." But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward have you? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brethren only, what do you do more than others? Do not even the tax collectors do so? Therefore you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect.
Jesus of Nazareth, one of the most influential and prolific figures of the Western world, and no other figure is mentioned as much in so many religions. What makes him so special? No other teacher in history made such great claims as Jesus, who indirectly claimed to be God. And if you think he divinely inspired the book of Revelation, he also directly claimed to be God Almighty, both who say, "I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end." From this face, though, for the first time, we see what's most likely is his face. How can we be so sure? He left his image on his burial cloth in that tomb as he dematerialized and rose from the dead into a resurrected body. True, we can't prove the image was caused by the light of the resurrection. Nevertheless, so far scientists have ruled out everything the image could be. It's not caused by burning, natural light, pigments, or any liquids. How do we know? The superficiality of the image, the lack of pigmentation, and the image disappears under a backing light shows there is a fusion of the image into the top fibrils of the cloth. Every attempt to recreate the image has not come close to all the characteristics of the shroud. In fact, a filmmaker called David Rolfe has offered $1 million for anyone in the world who may attempt it. So if you think it can be made, then go and collect your 1 million. We have to now realize that science cannot always explain everything. Some will say, it may be a natural accident that we can't understand. This is true. The late Barry Schwartz, a Jewish man who sadly passed away this year, had no affiliation with Jesus yet through this cloth he did. He only followed in his integrity the science that led him to conclude, it is Jesus of Nazareth. I'll leave a quote by him. He once said to me by Sherlock Holmes, "Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth." So, we can only say that the shroud is either a freak accident of nature by some miraculous set of circumstances, or the resurrection. However improbable this may seem, all the science leads us to this conclusion. You can find an up-to-date summary of the story of the Shroud of Turin, including new scientific discoveries in Tony Cunliffe's excellent illustrated booklet, The Case of the Missing Body, with link to the website in my bio or description.